Good day, good day, good day. Yeah, that last beat gets me going, I need a little this morning. Yes, yes, yes. So good day, everybody. Good day, Wayne. Okay, I'll take the cowgirl. That one I'll take. Yes, yes, yes. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody. Thank you for joining in for today's Sip with Rev Melissa. And Sip is spirit and practice, where we practice and practice and practice some more. And what is in alignment with practice is definitely our series for this week, right, Linda? Our series, RE, right? Using it as a prefix and looking at words that have that as a prefix, but looking at it from another perspective, right, Vanessa? A higher perspective, a metaphysical lens, all that good stuff. So yesterday we were in the word of resign, right? Resign or resign, right? Which is what I shared last Friday about my experience with resign. And so when we look at R-E, we're looking at the meaning of it, which is again and again, right? Again and again and again and again. And so yesterday when we talked about resign, what we came to was looking at a pattern, right? Looking at a pattern that conveys a meaning again and again, right? When we look at resign, we also look at what we submit our mind to without resistance, which is not easy to do because oftentimes our mind is in resistance, right? To something that we know we need to do, want to do, resisting, taking a step in a certain direction, right? What is it that you need to explore that is a pattern of your mind that you are repeating that you need to change, right? That you need to change. So being in that mindset of resigning, what came to mind today. And it came to mind for a couple of reasons. So I'm going to share one reason. When something keeps coming to your mind, but you don't do anything about it. So I was recently having that experience with my aunt. She kept coming to my mind, right? She kept coming to my mind. And I was like, I need to go over there. I need to check on her. I haven't been over there in a minute. I need to check on her. Right. And when I spoke to her last night to check in, she didn't sound like herself. She didn't sound like herself. And so my mind said, the mind that knows, right, said, go check on her. So that's what I'm going to do today. Right after Sip, I'm going to go and get my eyes on her because I need to get my eyes on her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that led me to today's word. So today's word is remind. Remind. I love that word. And I loved it even more when I started digging into it, right? So we know is again and again, right? What is mind, right? So I'm going to get to that. But let me share the definition for remind. Remind is to cause to remember, cause a person to think of someone or something, right? To cause to remember, cause a person to think of someone or something, remind, right? So we've all had that experience, right? We remember something we need to do, right? We think about a person or some situation or something, right? Like I just shared about my aunt, right? But what do we need to remind ourselves about, right? There's something that we need to remind ourselves of every day. And the way in which I remind myself of the things that I need to remind myself of is through my spiritual practice. And one of the most important things that I remind myself of is that I am whole, I am complete, I am perfect in the mind of God, right? I have to remind myself of that, right? Because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget how wonderful I am. And I don't say that from a place of conceit or anything like that. We all are wondrously made, all of us. But how often do we forget that? How often do we forget that we all are highly favored? All of us, right? No one above the other. We all are a unique expression of the divine, right? Each one of us. And so in practice, what I repeat over and over and over again is that knowingness, to remind myself of that knowingness, especially when I start to feel myself going down that slippery slope of you're not worthy. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that'll never work. Oh, here you go again, thinking you blah, 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 right? Is anybody with me on that? Right? We start to go down that slippery slope, right? And that's an opportunity to start to remind ourselves to look up, right? To raise our consciousness, to look to the hills from which cometh our help, right? It's an opportunity for us to remind ourselves of just how wonderful we are, right? Each one of you, Lindsay, wonderful. Vanessa, wonderful. Wayne, wonderful. Everyone, wonderful, just as you are. Remind yourself of that today. Remind yourself when something goes wrong or you feel like you did something wrong, remind yourself, hey, I made a mistake. Let me see what the lesson is. I'm still wonderful even as I make mistakes, and you keep it moving, right? Instead of going into resistance about it or denial about it, right? Or regret. Ooh, another reword. That one might not work. That ain't one of them. All right, y'all. So I want to share the meaning, one of the definitions that Ernest Holmes gives for mind. And I see you, Diana. Yes, Diana saying, for me, remind and remember align with my wholeness and be in the divine flow of higher truth rather than the slippery, rather than the slippery slope. Yes. Those two words right there, Diana, remind and remember, are two of my favorite rewords. Yes. And Lindsay, yes, remind yourself to readjust into the truth. Absolutely. And how often do we need to do that? I know for myself, I have to do it every day. Every day. Remind myself to readjust myself, my thinking, into the truth of who I am, the truth of everything, right? It's not just one time. It's not just one time. So, Ernest Holmes' definition of mind. Ernest says, and this is from the Science of Mind textbook. I'm using my fancy one, y'all, because my other one it's in the hospital, y'all. It's the binder has broken, pages are falling out. So yeah, it's going to have some surgery. So for right now, we're using the fancy one, which is very nice. Mind. No one has ever seen mind or spirit. The only proof we have of mind is that we can think, but we are perfectly justified in believing that we have a mind, right? Everyone would agree, I would think, that we have a mind, right? And that mind is both conscious and subconscious. right? We have a conscious mind, a subconscious mind. We call it consciousness, right? We know that there is a super consciousness, right? That is the divine mind. All of that, right? We talked about that in previous sips. Mind is potential energy. Do you think about mind as energy? Everything is energy, right? Including our mind, right? And we know that our mind, there's a vibration that emits from our mind, from this energy, right? That aligns with the vibration that is in the universe, right? Okay. So mind is potential energy, while thought is the dynamic force which produces the activity for manifestation. And that's why our thinking, right? Our thoughts are creative. Our thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts are what is manifesting, right? Our thoughts is what comes into form. Yes? Okay. The one mind is all of truth with a capital T. Our mind, that point in God consciousness, which we call our mind, is as much of truth with a capital T as we will allow to flow through and bless us. So our mind and God's mind is one mind. It's not separate unless we separated ourselves, right? Or think that we can operate from a place of separation. That we can do. But in the truth with a capital T, there is no separation. There is one mind. And the wonderful thing is we can remind ourselves, we can remind ourselves of the one mind. How? By using it. By using it. By using the energy, the power of the one mind, operationalized as us, operationalized as whatever it is that you want to focus your life upon. We can use the power of truth, power of the one mind to do so. And we have to remind ourselves of that again and again and again. We are using the one mind. Like I was thinking about this morning, kind of like recycling, excuse me, in a sense, right? So there's nothing that needs to be created. Everything is created already in the mind of God. All that is, right, is already so. And not only is it already so, it's already good. It's already all good. So we get to use it like recycling, right? Recycling the power of the one mind as your mind, because the truth is, it already is. I know you might be saying, Red Mal, you make it sound so easy. But remind yourself, if you remind yourself, right? And you practice every single day throughout the day, right? To re-sign, right? The pattern of your thinking in alignment with the one mind that is a reminder of who we are, then life gets delicious, y'all. Life gets delicious, but it takes practice. It takes, what's my word? Vigilance. It takes being deliberate. It takes being in the conscious flow of life, not in the resistance of it, but in the flow of it. Yes? So, what are you reminding yourself of today about yourself? What are you reminding yourself of today about yourself, about who you are? What is the conversation? That's a real question. So, what are you reminding yourself of today? Answer that for yourself throughout the day. When you feel like you're starting to go a little off, bring yourself back and remind yourself of the truth of who you are. Yes? All right, y'all. All right. So, uh, I wrote down these 2 questions. They were more for me than for y'all. Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? No. No, I have not lost my mind. And no, you have not lost your mind. Now, it might be wandering over there somewhere, and you might need to go gather it up. Come on back, right? Remind yourself of who you are, right? And sometimes we feel that way, like we have totally lost our minds. I know I have. And then the other question, do you feel like you are going out of your mind? Do you feel like you are going out of your mind? Are you operating, or do you feel like you're operating out of the out of the uh out of the out of the God consciousness? Are you outside of that which is God, which is impossible to be, but you could feel that way. You could feel that way, right? That there's the universe, right? And you all the way over there somewhere, totally lost out of your mind. Come back. You can bring yourself back. You can, by using the one mind that is your mind, that is your mind to use. Let's use it. Let's use it. Because guess what? We can't use it up. It's infinite. It's eternal. Yes? And we get to be in that. A song just came to mind. It was a gospel song. We get to be in that number, right? We get to be in that. All right, y'all. All right. I see y'all. Yes, monkey mind is something. Yeah. Monkey mind can make you feel like you have gone out of your mind. Right? All over the place. But however, we have the wherewithal within us to center ourselves, to take a sacred pause, to take a one breath with the breath that is God's breath, and remind ourselves again who you are. And you are wonderful, magnificent. You are the quality of spirit that you have been affirming for yourself all year long. That is who you are. So let's remind ourselves of that every day throughout the day. Yes, that is our pattern of thinking. That is the thought that is coming into form. All right. All right, y'all. All right. So you made up your minds? Is your mind made up? Is your mind made up? My mind is made up. And I have to make it up every day. Every day. All right, y'all. So we're going to continue with re. We'll see what word is tomorrow. What word it won't be, I can tell you right now, is regret, because that don't make no sense. So we'll see what tomorrow's re word is. All right. All right, y'all. So we're living life in joy, reminding ourselves, right, of what our yes is, connected to our yes, connected to our yes. And as I always say, if you need support, I am here to support you. DM me and we can set up some time to talk so that you can, get your mind right. Yes? All right, y'all. So let's get into some joy news. All righty. So this Sunday, before I forget, today's election day. Did you already vote? I meant to do early voting and I totally forgot. It slipped my mind. So I got to go today and vote. So vote. That's a reminder. Go vote if you haven't done so already. All right. Sunday, living life in joy. with Ramona Curtis, who is the founder of Unhoused St. Louis. She is one of the 8 organizations that gets support from the Hero Ministry. She is doing the work for the unhoused in St. Louis. She has an amazing story. So please join me this Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time for Living Life in Joy with Ramona Curtis. And then right after at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have Sunday in Praise at Rockland CSL. You can go to rocklandcsl.org for information about in-person service and service online. Our theme is Breathe in the View. That's our theme for November. And Sunday's topic is The View from Here. The View from Here. So I'm excited about that. Please join me for Sunday's service. Our next meditation with the moon is Thursday, November 4th, day after tomorrow, y'all, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Right where you're watching me now, we do a full-blown spiritual practice. And then afterwards, we have our after party on Zoom where we share, fellowship, and just spend some time with each other. So please join me for meditation with the new moon on Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And there is no 10:30 sip on Thursday. The sip is at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so let's just remember that. Please donate and support New Thought Media Network. You can do so by going to their website, ntmedia.org, and give what feels good to you. All right. I want to check in with Sekou, see how he's doing. And Sunday, I had to put this in my calendar. Daylight saving time ends, y'all, this weekend, Sunday, 2 a.m. in the morning, right? But we're all good. We're all good. Just remember, 10:30 when you wake up, it's going to really be 10:30. So set your reminders. I had to do that for myself.
You might feel a little different because all your devices are going to do it automatically.
Exactly.
You might feel a little different.
Yeah, and we also think we're getting an extra hour because we fall back.
Mm-hmm.
So we think we're getting an extra hour in the day, but no.
Yeah. Well, so what stood out to me was actually something you said early on. You talked about looking up in the early part of your life. And this is something I've been thinking a lot about because I started working on a book during the pandemic that I just started picking up again. And because of that time gap, working on it in the pandemic and now picking it up again, is new to me. I'm like, I wrote that? Oh, that's interesting. And so there's this section in there about looking up physically. Mm-hmm. And I remember discovering that when I was feeling contracted in any way, I happened to find that I was looking down. Mm. And just physically, the act of looking up helped shift my energy. Mm. And I find that to be true now. I'm a little more cognizant of it now. If I'm feeling some kind of way and I look up, no matter where I am, I could be looking at the ceiling. I could be looking at the sky from outside. I could be looking up at a building. No matter where I am, if I look up, it tends to ground me more. And I've also noticed that it's always peaceful up. Like if you're in a high-rise building, you look down, there's always something going on down the street level. There's some traffic, people honking. There's something going on in it. But if you look up, it's just clouds, peaceful clouds, sometimes no clouds at all. It's always peaceful up. Yeah. So there's something to that energetically about looking up, just physically looking up that'll shift your energy. That's why I went with your advice to look up.
Yes. Thank you, Sekou. Yes. And that's why I'm excited about Sunday's topic, the view from here. Where are you looking from, right? Where are you looking from? From what perspective? Down there? Back there? Or up there? Right? All right, let me not go into the sermon. Thank you, Sekou. Thank you for that. I hope everyone's doing well. I will see you all tomorrow as we continue our series. Thank you all for the love and the support. Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.